Hello fellow Bears fans, welcome to my 2014 Bears video blog, Week 1 post-game recap, Bears vs. Bills. This one didn't turn out the way we had hoped, definitely not the way I had hoped or the way I had envisioned it. Should have been a blowout, and early on it looked like it would be. We stopped them on their opening possession, went down in 4 plays, scored a touchdown. It looked like the route was on. Unfortunately, they came back with a touchdown, tied it up, and that's where our offense got into some trouble. We had a drive going, got the first down in Buffalo territory with Brandon Marshall. He fumbles the football. They pick it up, return it, get it into good field position. They get points off that. Then another turnover, Cutler threw an interception. That interception, I would say, is probably more on Martellus Bennett than it was on Cutler. Bennett never looked for the ball. Corey Graham was watching the entire time, was able to undercut the route. So 2 big mistakes in the first half put us down. Overall, just not a way to start off the season. So let's go ahead and look at some team stats here. Total plays, we had 69 to their 56. Total yards, we had 427 to their 360. Each team had 12 drives. We beat them in passing 341 to 167. They beat us in rushing 193 to 86. But the big difference in this game was the turnover differential. We had 3 to their 1. 2 Cutler interceptions. Like I said, the first one I believe was more on Martellus Bennett than it was on Jay Cutler. I definitely blame Bennett on that one. The second one was definitely Cutler's fault. He rolled out. Didn't really have anywhere to go to the ball. Tried to force one in there. Defensive lineman picked it off. That cost us there. Just turnovers hurt us in this game. Injuries hurt us in this game. 2 injuries to Slauson and Garza. Both didn't look too severe, but they weren't able to finish the game. Hopefully they'll be back next week. But we were able to get the 2 backup linemen that came in played well. Cutler was only sacked twice in this game, which for going up against a defense like Buffalo, who was second in the league in sacks on defense last year, only giving up 2 sacks to that front 4, especially having 2 backup linemen in there. I felt the line played very well. It's just turnovers killed us in this game. Look at some individual stats. The passing game, Jay Cutler, 34-49, 349 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks with an 86.2 rating. He played well for most of the game, but those 2 picks were very costly. E.J. Manuel, 16-22 for 173, 1 touchdown, 1 pick with a 91.7 rating. Rushing on our side of the ball, Matt Forte, 17 carries, 82 yards for a 4.8 average. Their side of the ball, Fred Jackson, 7 for 61 with a long of 38. Dixon, 5 of 60 with a long of 47. C.J. Spiller, 15 for 53. Going to the receiving side of the ball, for us, Matt Forte, 8 receptions, 87 yards. Brandon Marshall, 8 receptions, 71 yards. Alshon Jeffrey, 5 receptions, 71 yards. Martellus Bennett, 8 receptions for 70 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Marshall also added a touchdown as well. Santonio Holmes chimed in with 2 receptions for 21 yards. Dante Rosario, 1 for 12. Josh Morgan, 1 for 9 yards. And Michael Spurlock, 1 reception for 8 yards. Their side of the ball, Robert Woods, 4 receptions, 78 yards. Williams, 2 receptions for 36 yards. Watkins, 3 receptions for 31 yards. C.J. Spiller, 3 for 11 yards. Fred Jackson, 3 for 13 yards. Summers, 1 for 4 yards. Let's go over to the defensive side of the ball here. Honestly, overall, I think our defense played well this game. If you look at the first half, they scored 17 points against us. 10 of those points came off of turnovers. In the second half, they only scored 3 for as far as the third and fourth quarter go. Those 3 points also came off a turnover. So 13 of their 23 points came off turnovers. If we don't turn the ball over like that, we win this game. A lot of people are you look at the rushing, a lot of people think, well, we're bad rush defense yet again. We were going up against a good running team. However, most of their rushing yards came on big plays, a big run by Fred Jackson. There was also a big run by Dixon for like 50 and 47. So 90 of their 193 rushing yards came on 2 big carries. So really, I'm not too worried about that aspect of it, because for the majority of the game, we kept the run pretty well in check. You take away those 2 big plays, they're around about 100 yards rushing in the game. And really, that's not bad. It's just we got to eliminate those big runs. One of them came in overtime, which set them up for the game-winning field goal. We can't let that happen. However, look at the defensive side of the ball. Leading the way with tackles was Monday, 7. 6 of those solo. Conti had 7, 5 solo, and also Conti added a pick as well. Ratliff had 5, 4 solo tackles. Fuller had 5, 3 solo tackles. Willie Young had 4, 3 solo, 2 tackles for loss and 1 sack. Just overall, the defense played well. Like I said, 13 of their 23 points came off of turnovers. And all 3 of those turnovers, they were able to get the ball in good field position, which contributed to their points. The defense did all they could do, but when you turn the ball over 3 times, put their offense on the field put our defense back on the field too soon, they get tired, they get worn out. That killed us right there. I'm going to move on now to my Monster Midway segment, which is my individual offense and individual defensive player of the game. My Monster Midway on offense this week is going to be Jay Cutler, not Jay Cutler, but it's going to be Matt Forte. 17 carries for 82 yards, added 8 receptions for 87 yards, a total of 169 yards. Multi-purpose yards for Forte, so he is my offensive monster of the midway. I'm going to throw out an honorable mention, though, as well, from Martellus Bennett. 8 receptions, 70 yards, and a touchdown. He's definitely deserving of a shout-out. My monster midway on defense is going to be somebody that we brought in free agency. Really played well this game. Had a sack, 2 tackles for loss, a big sack that came at a big point in the game, and also a big tackle for loss on the running back. That's going to be Willie Young in this game, with a total of 4 tackles, 3 solo, a sack, and 2 tackles for a loss. Willie Young played good. He got penetration, and that's what we need out of him. Just like I said, unfortunately, we start the season 0-1, not the way you want to start, but that's also why you play 16 games. We need to rebound next week against San Francisco. San Francisco looked very good against Dallas. So we're going to have our work cut out for us. It's going to be in San Francisco next week on Sunday night. So that's going to conclude my post-game recap for this one. Look Friday evening next week for my game preview. Bears at 49ers. Disappointing loss. We start off 0-1. Need to rebound, need to fix the mistakes, need to make sure that we clean up those mistakes. And hopefully the injuries that we had in this game, both offensive linemen, Sloss and Garza, hopefully they'll be back and ready to play again next week. Also, hopefully Alshon Jeffrey's back and ready to play next week. He exited the game with a hamstring injury. They said he was probable to return. He never did come back out on the field, especially in overtime. If he was probable if the hamstring injury wasn't that bad, you figured they would have used him in overtime. They didn't. So the fact that he didn't finish the game is worrisome. But hopefully we'll have Alshon Jeffrey back next week as well. If not, the other guy's got to step up. Michael Spurlock's got to step up. Josh Morgan's got to step up. And Santonio Holmes has to step up. But like I said, hopefully next week we get Alshon Jeffrey, Matt Sloss, and Matt Garza back. Those injuries kind of hurt us a little bit there toward the end. Not so much the offensive line injuries that hurt us because the backups played well, but the loss of Jeffrey definitely did hurt the offense a little bit. So until next time, go Bears, bear down.